Hello viewers, this is Autumnia. Welcome back to my playthrough of Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. We're currently carrying out the post-completion errands and bounties. One errand client is here, in Ara Memoriae. Yes, I am talking about Horace. Naturally, we need to use Spirit Medium to speak with him again. Oliver, there is something I need to tell you. What is it, Horace? I must tell you about Nazca and Cassiopeia, and about myself. Before you attempt to save Cassiopeia, you deserve to know the truth. It may take some time, but I hope you can spare the time to listen to what I have to say. So we'll accept Errand 136, Great-Great-Grandsage. Thank you, Oliver. Our story begins here long ago, where the kingdom of Nazca once flourished. Though it may appear bleak and barren now, in those days it was a mighty empire that combined mighty magic with advanced technology. It was a prosperous realm, where poverty and pestilence were all but unknown, and its people enjoyed a life of peace and plenty. But man was never wont to count his blessings, and greed soon reared its ugly head. In spite of all they had, the populace demanded more. Friends turned upon one another, families were torn apart, and each citizen strove to better his own lot and outdo his neighbor. Sounds like a recipe for a right old mess, that. And indeed it was. It led to a series of conflicts that would span centuries, the Wizard Wars. But the course of history was changed with the arrival of a single wizard. Wow, one wizard made that big of a difference? Indeed, this wizard wielded not one, but two wands. His mastery of magic was unparalleled, and he soon turned the tide of the war. Through his power, the bitter conflict that many thought would never end was brought to a conclusion in the space of mere days. Crikey, sounds like someone you'd want on your side in a fight. He was indeed fairy. He was lauded as a hero by all the peoples of the world, and his reward was the crown of Nazca. Thus did he become the Wizard King. The Wizard King, Cassiopeia's father. The very same. Now, shortly after peace returned to the world, the Wizard King hid one of his wands in the distant land of Autumnia. He sealed it away that it might never be used for evil. Which brings me to my latest puzzle. It has been some time since I last posed you a question, has it not? I guess it has, huh? Excellent. My question is this. What was the name of the wands that the Wizard King sealed away? I believe that you know it well. Speak to me again when you have your answer. And if you don't know the name of this wand, then you haven't been paying much attention. So, what is your answer, Oliver? What was the name of the wand? It is quite obviously Mornstar. Indeed, it was the very wand that you carry with you now. I wonder how the valley where it sealed fares. Where it was sealed fares. In those days, it was filled with the most beautiful flowers. Let us continue our tale there. I will be waiting for you, Oliver. Come and find me. Very well, Horace. So we've got to follow him to the Tombstone Trail. It certainly is no longer as he describes it. And here is the trail. We'll find Horace at the end of the trail, where we fought the Candelabracadabra. And I'm in the dark tunnel. And here we find a golden honky-tonker. So long, enemies. And after that battle, Lamal reaches level 65. Congrats, Lamal. Oh, then, now it's time to head up to the top. And here we are at the end, right where we got Mornstar. And of course, we need to use Spirit Medium again. Thank you for coming, Oliver. This valley changed so much. It was once a place of beauty, awash with flowers of every color. No matter, what is done is done. Now let me continue my tale. The Wizard King ascended the throne, and won great renown as a just ruler, treating all his subjects equally, be they human or otherwise. They, in turn, repaid him by rallying round their new monarch, and together they rebuilt the ruined realm more swiftly than any had thought possible. So he got all the beasties pulling their weight too, did he? I never knew that, man. Nice. Indeed. The Wizard King truly was a man like no other. It was then, with the kingdom all but rebuilt, that he chose 3 servants from among his subjects. A swashbuckling sea captain to represent the race of men, a great wolf to represent the animals, and a serpent lord to represent the creatures. Each was wholly devoted to his master, and did all that the Wizard King asked. But of the 3, the Serpent Lord was the wisest, and the most committed to his master's cause. He was known as the King of Cobras, and what a mind he had! Ah, to think of how he was then! This seems as good a time as any for your next question. Another question. You have encountered these 3 servants on your travels, but can you recall the name of the mighty snake you faced? Yes, I can. I am sure listening to me will have served to jog your memory. Speak to me again when you have your answer. Do you have the answer, Oliver? Yes, we do. The answer is Aapep. A-A-P-E-P. That is correct. Though the 3 servants achieved so much, their reward was to be chased without dignity from the kingdom they had helped to build. But perhaps that is a tale for another day. Yes, we will continue our tale in the very ruins where you faced Aapep. I will tell you of how the Wizard King's 3 most loyal servants were driven to the path of evil. Until then, Oliver. Okay. So now, let's get out of here. We'll use this convenient teleporter to get out of the Tombstone Trail. And next we'll travel to the Vault of Tears. Might as well get some free HP and MP restoration. Then we'll head to the end where we fought Aapep. And here is Horace. And of course we need to use Spirit Medium yet again. Thank you for coming, Oliver. Shall we continue our tale? I said I would tell you of how the 3 keepers were driven from the kingdom, how they became evil. Below the king, at the head of the Nazcan government, sat the Council of 12, a group of lords known as the Zodiarchs. We have heard of them. They were responsible for the day-to-day running of the kingdom, and were supposed to be the ruler's closest advisors. But the Wizard King's rise to prominence was a source of consternation for the Council, who feared his great power and the loyalty he commanded amongst the Keepers. And so, as soon as Nazca was rebuilt and stability restored, the Zodiarchs conspired to assassinate him, and their conspiracy was a success. That's horrible. With the Wizard King eliminated, the council had complete control of the kingdom. The king's infant heir, Queen Cassiopeia, became no more than a puppet. To compound their villainy, the council successfully implicated the keepers in the assassination, and they were banished from Nazca. Aapep lost all faith in humanity, and soon the power of the stone in his possession began to corrupt him, transforming him at last into a servant of evil. Indeed, it was he who reduced this once great city to the ruins you see before you now. That's bad like, but you've got to feel sorry for him and it. Being framed for murdering your mate would be enough to make anyone go off the rails. Perhaps, but Aapep possessed great wisdom. None could have predicted that he would suffer such a spectacular fall from grace. Speaking of predictions, yes, open the book. You mean the Wizard's Companion? I do. As you may or may not know, its authors were able to see into the future. Turn to the final page. A prophecy is written there. A prophecy of what would become of a certain individual. That person's name, too, is hidden there. Can you discover their identity? This puzzle is much like life. You must start at the bottom and work your way to the top, not forgetting to begin at the beginning, of course. The solution is not a simple one, but a worthy wizard will see to the heart of the problem. Okay, so let's pop open the Wizard's Companion. And we'll go down to the last page here. And here's what it says. It sounds like... Do you have the answer, Oliver? It sounds like it is talking about P. That is correct. Perhaps one day the people of this world will see that the White Witch had nothing but the best of intentions. But first, she must make amends for what she did. Despair is no excuse. I guess you're right. I remember when she was a kind little girl who loved flowers above all else. But that is a story for another time. If you are interested, I plan to visit a cave that lets one see into the past. I wish to see the old Cassiopeia once more. There's a cave that lets you see into the past. You have not heard of it? I am certain that it is mentioned in that book of yours. When you have discovered its location, come and gaze into the past with me. Until then, Oliver. Goodbye. So, let's get out of here. And the next location will actually be the Glittering Grotto. In the next episode, we'll continue following Horace around. This is Autumnia. I would like to thank you for watching, and I will see you again next time.